What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is Legitical Response. We cover political news, keep you up to date, and keep you informed with everything that the government does. We also love to counter the mainstream narrative machine's narrative because they like to tweak things people say, and they like to take things out of context to make you believe something that's actually not true, make you think this when it's really that. They do it all the time. They love doing it with Trump. So that's what we're talking about today, folks. Yep, they're constantly pushing hoaxes against Trump. Oh, it's going to be a bloodbath hoax. And MSNBC, all of those people actually came on and said, oh, yeah, you're stupid if you don't think he's calling for violence. You're an idiot.
There's no genuine critical thought without hurt feelings. Do you understand that? No critical thought without hurt feelings. Okay, so then you say, well, we'll dispense with critical thought because we don't want anybody's feelings to be hurt. So then they wander off a cliff and die.
Right? You listen to the context of the speech, and he's like, no, it's going to be an economic bloodbath. Because it's going to be an economic bloodbath, right? Janet Yellen just took a trip to China to talk to China about them flooding the market with cheap goods and cars, which is exactly what Donald Trump was talking about. China's building a butt-ton of car factories in Mexico to sell to the United States at very, very low prices, right? More cheap Chinese garbage that we don't want. And these people, they will propagandize the shit out of you to make you think that Trump is calling for political violence when he's really calling for some spine. How about let's stand up to China and say, no, we're going to put so much tariffs on these cars that you're not going to want to sell them to us. You're not going to flood our market with your cheap garbage. That's what Trump was saying, but no, these people want to twist things around and say, oh, that's political violence, right?
Or psychopathic adventurers who are out to cause as much bloody mayhem for their own personal satisfaction, including sadism, as they can possibly manage. And if you don't think there are people like that, you're exactly the kind of idiot they like to prey on.
But here we go again. Trump's Israel criticism breaks with GOP sows uncertainty. What do you mean by that exactly? See, now, once again, they're trying to take some comments that Trump made and turn it around to make you think that Trump is breaking with the GOP and is totally against Israel. Once again, folks, I'm here to point out the hoax that this article is. Former President Trump's growing criticism of Israel's war against Hamas in Gaza signals a glaring break from GOP talking points backing Israel's right to self-defense. Hang on just a second. No. What they're trying to do with that paragraph right there is to make you think that Trump is against Israel for some reason. Why would they think that? Do you forget about the Abraham Accords, people? I guess they do. See, they tend to brush over and just overlook some of Trump's accomplishments. The Abraham Accords brought peace to the Middle East, right? Biden gets into office, undoes everything Trump did, and now what do we have? Oh, we have complete chaos in the Middle East. We have chaos in Europe. We have chaos in the South China Sea. And it just blows my mind. These people are willing to destroy the country just to make Trump look bad. They could care less about peace all over the world, right? We know this because they want to fund these foreign wars. They want to send $60 billion to Ukraine. They want to give Israel $20 billion. They want to say, oh, Trump's the evil dictator. He's such a bad person. He's going to be a dictator and all this. You're never going to be able to vote again. All this BS just to make one person look bad so he doesn't get put into office. But the American people aren't buying it, folks. You and I both know that we're not idiots. We know that it's not going to be the end of democracy if Trump gets voted into office. As a matter of fact, when Trump gets voted into office, we will have much more peace in the world. We will have a better economy. We will have a secure border, and we won't have a bunch of illegals coming across the border to murder our citizens. We won't have Hamas blowing up people and taking hostages in Israel. We won't have an evil dictator, Putin, constantly killing Ukrainians, and vice versa. Let's keep going. Trump allies played down the importance of his interview with Israeli reporters last week, saying his staunch support of Israel would continue in a potential second term. That's right. Trump is a very staunch supporter of Israel. That is exactly why he is criticizing what they're doing right now, because on the world stage, Israel is looking kind of bad, right? Right? I'm a Christian. Okay, so I have a lot of admiration for Israel and the Jewish people, because that's where our religion derives from. It comes from the Jewish, because Jesus was a Jew. But his comments in recent days underscore Trump's ambiguous positions on some of the major national security issues he will face should he return to the White House. John Bolton, who, let's just go ahead and take his word for it, who served for 17 months as Trump's White House national security advisor, told The Hill the former president's stance on Israel will largely depend on the environment he inherits and on what would best serve his own interests, which his own interests are America's interests, right? Because he's an American first politician, I guess. We call him a politician because that's all he seems to be really into right now is politics. He's trying to become the president, so we'll call him a politician / business mogul, sure. At bottom, Trump doesn't have a national security policy, Bolton said, calling the former president's approach ad hoc. Yes, this coming from a guy who wants to just bomb the shit out of everybody, blow the entire world up. He sees things primarily through the prism of, does this benefit Donald Trump? Bolton added. Here we go with the self-servism again, right? Just blow your freaking mind. This guy, all he talks about is America first. The United States, make America great again. So his interests are in America's interests. So, sure, if it supports Donald Trump, then it supports America. If it's good for Donald Trump, it's good for the United States. But people don't see that. They like to call him a narcissist, which he is. They like to call him arrogant, which he is. But you show me one world leader that's not arrogant, that's not a narcissist, and I will show you a liar, folks. Trump told Hewitt, Israel is absolutely losing the PR war, criticizing the images being played around the world showing massive destruction of Gaza. You've got to get it over with, and you've got to get back to normalcy. And I'm not sure that I'm loving the way they're doing it, because you've got to have victory, Trump said, without directly answering whether he was 100% with Israel. Of course he's 100% with Israel. However, he's telling them, look, the world's watching right now, and the world is very appalled by what's going on in Gaza. Most people do believe that Israel has the right to self-defense. Trump has outright said this. He just said in that statement, which they tried to twist around by saying he's not 100% for Israel, that yes, he's with them and they need to win the PR battle. They've got to stop killing civilians, eliminate Hamas, and minimize civilian casualties. That's what Trump is saying here, because it's really not looking good for Israel. Like I said, they're killing a lot of civilians. This accident with these aid workers that were in Gaza, that just makes things a whole hell of a lot worse, right? We've got some freaking nut jobs in this country that are outright pro-Hamas. That's insane to me. How the hell can you get behind a terrorist organization and say it's a good thing? Laughing when they seen the videos from October 7th, saying yes, cheering for it, y'all. Yeah, we've got some insane people, and a lot of them work in the mainstream narrative machine industry. In an interview with Israel Heyman last week, he said Israel made a very big mistake with the bombings in Gaza. Israel has to get better with the promotional and with the public relations, because right now they're in ruin, Trump added. They're being hurt very badly, I think, in a public relations sense. He also attacked Netanyahu immediately after October 7th attacks, criticizing the Israeli leader for not being prepared for Hamas's attack and harping on a 2020 grievance that Israel backed away from joining the U.S. in a strike that killed a top Iranian general. I'll never forget that Bibi Netanyahu let us down. That was a very terrible thing, Trump told a group of supporters days after October 7th, while Israel was reeling with a death toll of more than 1,100 people. But a former senior Trump administration official said the former president's latest comments did not signal a break from his first-term policies, which were generally a wholesale endorsement of Netanyahu's agenda. Yes, you can criticize somebody. Just by the way, this is my message to the mainstream narrative machine. You can criticize somebody for making a mistake and still be their friend. If you didn't know that, you can still say, hey, I think that was stupid, and still like that person. But these people don't seem to get that. But is it really that? Do they really not get that? Or is it just they're trying everything they can do? They're taking every single chance they can to take anything and everything that Trump says and turn it around to make it look bad. Which is the more simple explanation here? Do they just not understand the concept of honest and genuine criticism?
And that was back when psychologists were just starting to analyze left-wing authoritarianism. And we found that the best predictors of being a left-wing authoritarian were being not verbally intelligent. That was a walloping predictor.
Or is it that they're just propagandizing the American people to make somebody look bad? You let me know down in the comment section. The former president still remains by far favorably inclined toward Israel and the nature of the strategic alliance. I don't think that's going anywhere, a former senior Trump administration official said. The Hill reached out to the Trump campaign for comment on his policies toward Israel and the Gaza war. Sam Markstein, national political director for the Republican Jewish Coalition, said the reaction to Trump's criticism of Israel was overblown. Yes, everything Trump says gets overblown by the corporate press. That's all they seem to do. The controversy is not really a controversy. There's no there, in the sense that all the president was saying, in our opinion, was that Israel needs the time and space to defeat Hamas and rescue the hostages, he said. That's the bottom line of the comment in our view, and trying to turn it into something it's not is unhelpful to the conversation. That's right, it's very reductive, and that's what the mainstream narrative machine is very, very good at, being reductive, taking things, twisting them around, lying to the American people to get you to believe that Trump is an evil dictator. Trump has only weighed in periodically on Israel's war on Hamas since it began almost 6 months ago, mostly when asked about it in interviews. He has given a muddled message, often focused the war's impact on domestic politics because he's an American first politician. He cares more about America than he does these other places, which, you can't get our politicians to seem to understand that the American people are yelling and screaming at them, America first, please. And all they want to do is send money to foreign countries. Send your tax dollars to foreign countries. That's BS in my opinion. Trump has said Israel must finish the problem in Gaza, signaling support for Israel's use of force. And he has blasted Jews who support Democrats, claiming they hate everything about Israel and they should be ashamed of themselves because Israel will be destroyed. Israel supporters on both sides of the aisle generally pursue a policy of bipartisanship to keep U.S. support for Israel strong across administrations and changes of power in Congress. Mark Stein, when asked if Trump's comments threatened that bipartisanship, spun the former president's remarks as aimed at motivating Jewish Democrats to respond to criticisms of their party. Yes, the Democratic Party is insane. They have a pro-Hamas arm of the Democratic Party. That should piss off every single Jewish Democrat. But do you hear these people lamenting the fact that people in their own party are screaming and yelling, yay, Hamas, go and kill all the Jews? No, you don't hear that at all. They try to put up this facade of they're all marching in lockstep, but they are in disarray right now. And because some of the Democrats in the insane Democrat Party have actually seen that some people in their party have gone totally insane. So if they still get behind that and try to march in lockstep with that insanity, they're going to be called insane for doing so. I think the Trump comments, the bottom line was, how could Jewish Democrats not be more outraged about what's going on with their silence, with their votes? And I think that was the top line. How could they not be more outraged about what's going on, he said, in his Trumpian way, but I think that's the top line. He continued, bipartisanship for Israel is always an important piece of the puzzle. We've been encouraging the Democrats' side to police their own side for years, which they don't do. They have views all over the damn place, right? You never know what the Democrats are actually thinking because you have a pro-Hamas arm, you have a Jewish arm, you have an insane arm, which the whole thing is insane if you ask me. But they just constantly put out this propaganda like they're all in line with each other, but they're not. We know this because there's a big contingent of American citizens that hate Joe Biden right now for his stance of being behind Israel, right? As it should be. He should be behind Israel. But you can criticize Israel and not be pro-Palestinian or pro-Hamas, in case you guys didn't know that. And they deserve to be criticized, to be honest with you. They're killing a lot of civilians. I think they could be a lot more surgical with their strikes and reduce civilian casualties. That's the entirety of the criticism. Once again, you can criticize Israel and still be 100% behind them, right? If you have a friend who is getting drunk constantly, is going down an alcoholic path, you don't just go along with it and don't affirm his alcoholism, do you? No, a good friend steps in and says, look, hey man, I think you're drinking too much. I think you need to chill out. But you're still his friend. That doesn't mean that you hate him or you're not going to support him, right? But that's what the mainstream narrative machine is trying to make you believe. That just because you criticize Israel, that means you're against them. You don't like them. It just blows my mind. I'm trying to get away from saying that, but, I can't help it when my mind gets blown out the backside of my head by what the mainstream narrative machine tries to tell me. Just absolutely insane. I don't agree with it, but that's what I'm here for. And you guys, y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comment section. Do you think that Trump's comments are somehow anti-Israeli or something like that? Or do you think that, yeah, Trump's with Israel, but it's a genuine criticism because they deserve some criticism? Everybody makes mistakes. And sometimes when you're in the midst of making a mistake, you don't recognize that mistake as you're making it, right? You make a mistake and you keep going because you think it's the right thing. It's good to have somebody to step in and say, stop, hang on. You got to do better than this, y'all. You got to do better than this. But, like I said, y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comment section. That's all I got for this one. I want to thank everybody for watching. I really do appreciate it, you guys. You guys are the best. Keep them comments coming. And y'all try to have a good day. And stay legitical. Peace.